I'm Jackie Rabbit. Today I want to talk to you about breaking your own rules. Recently, I broke some of my own rules, and I'm going to tell you what they were, and I'm going to tell you how I broke them. This is all about keeping an open mind. If you can't keep an open mind, transition's going to be tough, so we're going to discuss what that means. Go give me a thumbs up, then subscribe so you know when I post a new video. Let's go talk about what it means that I broke my own rules, that you might break your rules, and what is it to keep an open mind? Come on, let's go talk about it. All right, this one's all about keeping an open mind. But I wanted to drag you in here with what really struck my mind when I came up with the idea that you and I need to discuss this, because nobody ever discussed it with me, and I kind of wish somebody did. Now, there were those who said here or there something along the lines of keep an open mind. Therapists told me, friends told me, other trans women told me, other trans people told me. And I get it. I've been told. But I'm not certain I really, truly understood it down to its core. Sure, keep an open mind. I might change my mind about the way things go as I transition. But in the back of my mind, I always had those hard line set of rules. I will never do this. I will certainly not do that. I am not that person, and I will never become that woman. Put the brakes on. If you have those thoughts, please stop trying to reinforce what you want and deal with what is real. What may happen has nothing to do with what you push all the way to the end. Now, if you've made that hard line in the sand and you absolutely will not, ever, never, ever, ever, I'm not telling you to break that. But I want to share with you what happened when I broke that line in the sand and how it affected me, positive or negative. So let's really talk about what happened to me so I can share with you. This is how I do it, folks. So let's go through it. All right. There is something very different about today's video that I don't think many of you noticed quite yet. And maybe some of you did. What is it? Take a second. Think about what you are seeing in my video today and tell me what's different. I heard you. Yes, I'm wearing a dress. There is a dress on Jackie today. Some of you know that long ago, because I do know that some of you have literally watched every single one of my videos since the very, very beginning. And kudos to you. I don't know how you do it because I couldn't. But in the beginning, I had a hard line. Jackie does not wear dresses. Dresses are not for Jackie. Jackie won't be wearing a dress. Now, I did break that rule ever so briefly about 3 or so years ago when a friend invited me to a party and I wore a smashing cocktail dress and rocked that cocktail dress throughout that party. But then I put it away. It wasn't something I would normally ever wear, nor would I ever fit back into it today. I'm way too big on top, and there's at least a good 15 or 20 extra lbs in the Jackie zone, which is kind of everywhere. As much as I would love to, because it was a cute dress. I did it as a one-time thing for an event early in transition. I got lots of compliments, but my hard line in the sand was, I'm not the type of girl that wears dresses. Boom. I'm too much of a tomboy for that. Boom. The women in my family just don't do that. Boom. These kind of rules, these self-imposed limits, do nothing more than what the word implies. They limit you. I want you to see this as something new. The idea of keeping an open mind should also come with don't limit yourself. Now, this could mean a lot of things. Early on, one of the other lines in the sand for me was, Jackie doesn't really like boys. She's not really very interested in boys. She's never been interested in boys. Boys offer nothing to Jackie. Well, I'm not going to say that's true because it's not. I'm a woman. Boys have things to offer women. Now, I've just not gone down that road because it hasn't happened. Not because of that line in the sand. I have a life I'm very happy with. And a guy in my life hasn't been one of those things. I'm not saying it's not possible or could have been possible. I'm just saying it didn't happen. And that I didn't continue to limit myself. At a certain point I realized men have something to offer women, and I get that. As a woman, that makes sense. I had that in videos way, way long ago, and those of you who have watched them all kind of know what those videos are. So we won't revisit that one topic. But the dress topic, that was a hard line in the sand. I just was always, I don't wear dresses. Jackie doesn't wear dresses. Well, clearly, not only does Jackie wear dresses, I think she looks really good in them, if I don't say so myself. Now, here's what happened. I had a little recovery to do, and I had to do a little bit of reconstruction. The motorcycle accident I had years ago left me with somewhat paralyzed muscles that atrophied, and my right leg was very asymmetric to my left. Same with the backside. There were muscles that got pulled apart, and of course I was much, much heavier when I was 350 pounds. So there was a multitude of things that needed to be handled. So one of the things I haven't discussed with you, because it wasn't really trans surgery topic, one of the things I didn't share was all the things that I've been doing since the last surgery that you know about. I've had a tummy tuck, and I've had a little bit of reconstruction in the muscle area, and a revision to where the hernia I had at the belly button was. I've also now had some revision to correct the asymmetry with some fat grafting. And after all of this, it's actually left me with a body that I'm so much more comfortable with, that I now have changed another limit that I placed upon myself, was that I would just do the things that were necessary for transition and nothing more. Like I had this idea in my head early on, well, I'm not going to do what everyone else gets caught up in with, you know, BBLs and fat grafting and, you know, all of this stuff. But I got over that one pretty quickly. Almost like 2 years ago, I said, you know, I actually went to Asia SF and saw a lot of trans women who had been sculpted, body sculpted and all that. And I thought, well, that's great. And decided, well, maybe someday in the future I would do that. And some of those things have occurred because, you know, that's part and parcel to the reconstruction I was doing. So I actually got some of that. I did get the tummy tuck. The last revision was coming around the side a little bit more and pulling up some of the very lax tissue at my backside because there was no muscle underneath it. And then some grafting to fill that volume in to make both sides match. And then, believe it or not, he actually got my hip contour matching. So instead of a straight line here and a hip here, I actually have matching curves. So kudos to the surgeon for really going to that level of effort to make me feel so confident with what I wasn't previously confident with. I am now happy as a clam to throw on my swimsuit and go swimming. And I mean, not just the traditional bike shorts, tank top, and a rash guard t-shirt that I used to quote lesbian style swimwear. No, or just a one-piece swimsuit, standard generic one-piece. And I will be honest with you, I look good in it. Even with what modest curves I have, I look really nice, confident enough for me to just go and be myself and enjoy the pool, even in a public setting. And I've done that. And it's a fantastic thing to not have a limit on. So the idea that I gave myself permission to do things that previously I had said, no, I will never do that. I lifted the limitation, had an open mind, and gave myself permission to see what would happen. And that's true in so many things that we do going through transition. I will never, ever be interested in boys. You don't know that that's true. When you are absolutely done with transition, you're a woman, you've been a woman for a while, that may no longer apply. And if you put the limitation on yourself, why? Don't do that. Don't place limitations on yourself. Lift those limitations and then know what it means to have an open mind. We all say we do, but do we? Lift those limitations. Really truly live the idea of having that open mind. So let's get back to me in the dress thing. So I really enjoy, I put this off for probably 1 or 2 years longer than necessary. I placed this limitation on myself unnecessarily and didn't get the benefit of wearing a nice dress. I went to a movie today and I went out to eat. And my friends and I made sure that we were very, very conscious. We all had great masks on. We all distanced really well. We've got this down to a science now, right? And I felt great. And I got a lot of compliments on my dress. I'm feeling great having this added flavor to my style. And I'm really happy about it. Now I know this is pretty just, kind of low key, plain, just a black dress, right? Well, it goes beyond that, and I have like a really nice little shawl that I can throw on with it, and that looks really nice. So when it gets a little chillier in the evening, and it goes beyond that. This dress, yes, is just a little bit kind of everyday. Well, I've got a nice little spaghetti strapped LBD, little black dress that looks fantastic on me. I kid you not. This little number looks great, and it's just not something I would have thought of before when I was giving myself this self-imposed limitation. Not only that, it requires a strapless bra, which I thought, oh, I don't know, that's not really my style. Guess what? The minute I saw myself in that dress, is it my style? Hey, if it looks good on me, it's my style. That's my new limitation. So I know it seems simple. I said no, then I said maybe, then I tried, and then I said yes. But that whole process could have been so much easier if I truly knew what it meant to keep an open mind. And it means stop limiting yourself. If you keep limiting yourself, you will not get what you want if that limitation is in your way. I recently heard something that said, if you aim for nothing, you will hit it. Don't do that. Aim for what you want. And if the limitation is self-imposed, reassess that limitation. I hear from you in your comments all the times. So many girls write to me and say, well, I don't have access to FFS, VFS, BBL, surgeries of this nature. And sometimes it's money, sometimes it's region, you know what? You can move. You can save money. Please, nobody think I'm rolling in money, because I'm not. I make a very modest income. I scrimp, I save. It's taken me years, but I have gotten to do things I wanted. Yes, my insurance covers some of it. No, it doesn't cover some of the other things, but I have saved. I have been smart. I'm doing what needs to be done and not placing limitations on myself on what I can't do. Because if I tell myself I'm going to make a plan to do that, I don't actually have to know every single step to get there. I just have to know that I've got to go one step at a time until I do get there. Just like transition, one step at a time every single day until you are where you want to be. Same applies for things that could have been self-imposed limitations. Remove that limitation. Go after what you want, even if you don't know how to currently achieve it. If you take steps every day, eventually you will get what you want. Just don't quit. That's the message I want to give you. Now, if you still have tons of questions and you want to talk to me, but you can't scream at me through this little screen, go over to transgenderpulse.com, talk to the girls there. The moderators and the members are fantastic, and they know me. So when you sign up, and you know you need to, you know you need the camaraderie and talking to these other girls, you know you need an ear and you want to listen too. Go talk to them, sign up, and tell them that Jackie Rabbit sent you. This is something I want you to make sure you do for yourself. Get some good information from good people. That is where I started. That's where I began my journey. And I got the most bang for my buck, so to speak, in that arena. Those girls understood me, tried to guide me when I would or wouldn't listen with my limitations, and continued to be there for me on and off as needed. No pressure, just there. Your friends, confidants, people who get you. So go over there, make some new friends, ask some questions, and remember to tell them that I sent you. Take care of yourself. You've got to remember this one thing. You're not alone. You aren't alone. I care how this works for you. I really, truly do. And that's why I shared today that I gave myself a limitation unnecessarily and put off for a year or more the enjoyment of a nice dress. I mean, I am really this is really fun for me. I mean, I'm not a stunner, but I think I look just nice in the right dress. And this makes me feel good. I enjoyed myself today and felt great. You can have some limitations lifted from you as well. Maybe there's something totally different, but they could lead to something better for you. So do that. Keep an open mind. Lift those limitations and take every step day by day till you are where you want to be. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye. Recently, I had to go to a board meeting where we talked about rescheduling everything and other people taking on certain duties so that we could all have more time to work and more time to do bookwork and paperwork and things of that nature because it's hard to juggle it all. So I ended up on a Sunday and Monday schedule for something where somebody else ended up off that time. Well, it's one of my really good friends. And so we realized one of those days was the day that we usually get together. And unfortunately now we won't be getting together as often because that day is now booked for me and off for her. We're not both off. And she made a comment like, well, that's good. I'll get a lot more done, not, having to go out and listen to Jackie all the time. And I know she's just joking around and it was funny. And it wasn't like, she wasn't spiting me. It was true. It's like, yeah, actually we will probably get a lot more stuff done when, we have decompression separate from work time and the two of us won't be, tempted to spend all that time constantly getting together, decompressing and, kibitzing and whatnot. And what I'm getting at here is sometimes it's important to make the plan to work harder for a period of time so that you can make changes and not work as hard in the future. Or I guess I'll rephrase that as sometimes it's important to work hard for a while so you can play hard thereafter. Kind of like when you were a kid and had to do your homework, couldn't go outside to play. Same deal. Remember, it's important to work hard, but play is necessary too.